The sun dawned upon the dying land, making everything unbearably warm. On top of all other troubles, it wasn't appreciated. You see, a terrible evil had crept over the land, killing any plant, animal, or person in its way. Loganati the hawk flew overhead. He'd once been a great hunter, but now he struggled for food. He swooped down into his nest at the edge of the jungle, overlooking the once lush land turned to desert. "Have you found any food?" asked his wife. He told her the truth, which was no, and had been for weeks. The hatchlings were incredibly hungry. This part of the jungle was all dead, but beyond it was land that was still thriving. They flew there and found a village. There was food and water, things creatures needed to survive. The people didn't think evil would come to them, but they gave food to animals in need either way. It became a second home of sorts, and every day the hawks would come and the farmers and fishermen would offer them water and food so they could thrive. And yet, one day, demons serving the evil came breathing fire, burning it down and leaving nothing in its wake. The hawks and other starving animals no longer had food. The animals still living came together in a circle and discussed what they should do. Animals with wings like bats and birds suggested they fly to the ends of the earth and see if there was a safe place. A horse suggested that he gallop in the other direction they wanted to go. They had many ideas as to how they'd search for food or safe places, burrowing, slithering, flying, galloping, but they all knew they'd get caught. The family of hawks decided they would stay, the mother and the father taking turns searching. One day, Loganati went out for an hour to look for some food. A jackal came up to him. The animal had been turned into an undead zombie, its dark skin covered in wounds. Its eyes glowed with a dark purple flame. It was a servant of the evil, and it was after Loganati. "Don't be afraid," said the jackal. "Come and I will help you. I can bring you to a place where everything is back to normal, a realm where all this is just a memory." Loganati was suspicious of this offer, so he asked for more details. "What's the catch?" he asked the jackal. "How do I know I can trust you if you serve only the thing that destroyed these lands?" "I will tell you," said the jackal. "I shall split your soul in two, half used for our gain, the other for your existence." Loganati couldn't believe it. The evil was sparing him, leaving half of his soul in a place where everything was fine once more and he could roam free. But then a voice said to him, "It's a lie, you can't believe him." But it wasn't in his head, it was real. An old woman was behind him and speaking to him. She had a staff like some sort of magician. Was she? "Stay back, foul demon," she cried, as she aimed the top of the staff towards the jackal, warding it off until it transformed into its original form. It was a normal creature, not a horrible demon. "He wasn't going to give you part of your soul at all," said the woman. "He would corrupt you, no more, no less." Loganati was surprised. "I should have guessed it was a lie. Why haven't you used that magic over the whole earth to change things back to normal? Is it not powerful enough?" "I'm afraid so. But there is a place shielded from evil," she said, "and there we have a chance of gaining the power we need." She told him of a land called Ardet, where a portal to the realm of possibility stood. Good energy poured out of the portal and onto the land, making it immune to the corruption. It was the only magical place on earth. They rounded up the starving people and animals, and they all flew, walked, burrowed, crawled, and galloped to freedom. Many people and animals had already evacuated, but the evil had taken over so much it was hard to get there, and the magician only had so much magic left. But when they got there, they saw a huge expanse of land that was lush and green. It was beautiful. The family of hawks built a new nest. Plants and animals thrived. Everything right with the world. All creatures who came here could absorb the land's power and gain magical ability. There was a prophecy that every time evil engulfs the planet, there will always be something to counteract it, and the cycle would start soon. The Ardet River would flood each summer. This time, They were late to get the silt out of the irrigation trenches. There was an even bigger flood than usual. A farmer began to dig a trench at the end of the river and dug straight into the zone outside of Ardet. Then the water began to glow. "Quick," said the old woman, "the water's pouring out." The water had begun to flow into the dead zone. Anything that went outside of Ardet would either heal or harm, but water cannot control the magic it carries like a creature can, so there's no way to know. The creatures of Ardet had the will that this was the beginning of the cycle, and water poured out onto the dead land. The flood went down as the river's water flowed elsewhere. The water created an ocean over the land, and everything it touched became lush and green again. It brought the earth back to life once more. The animals found homes, villages were built, and the land prospered once more. Just one simple action from the forces of good changed everything. Since that day, the battle between good and evil truly began and would go on forever, good always prevailing each time.
The end.